Dear Diary, I thought it was time to play something a little bit more historical, religious, and a bit more serious. So here I am at the front door of Bayonetta. Diary, this game is not messing around. When you push start, you better fucking be prepared to start, because you are immediately thrown into the action. No waiting around reading boring ass plot narratives, just BAM, right in the middle. The downside is that I had a little trouble paying attention to what was being said, because evidently I was riding Big Ben falling from space, all the while fighting horrifying bird people. I guess we can scratch Sirius off the list. I actually had to go back and reread what Broski was saying, and from what I could gather, there were two European clans. The Umbra, the Witches of the Dark, and the Lumen, the Sages of the Light. These two clans lived in harmony, until one day, they just didn't. They had a war, and the witches won, but the people had witch hunts and killed all the battle-weary Umbra, except one last witch, who I'm guessing was Bayonetta. I suppose historically accurate is off the list too, but I'm writing a fucking clock, so 10 points to Gryffindor. Unfortunately, I got myself super hyped to play what looked like a kick-ass game, only to have to sit through about 20 minutes of cutscenes. Cool. I was hanging out in a graveyard, dressed as a disco nun, with a very unpleasant man who not only looked like an egg, but talked about them non-stop as well. Then the bird people showed up, and I realized they were actually angels. And A, angels are fucking scary, and B, this game is a little less religious, and a little more sacrilegious, which I'm totally okay with. Then we get this bizarro scene where her nun clothes get cut for pretty much no reason except to see some sweet butt crack an underboob. I've heard a lot of people say this game is overly sexualized, but I don't think it's sexual enough. Where are the cartoon nipples? And then her hair becomes her outfit. And holy shit! How awesome would that be? You would never run out of things to wear. Plus, who doesn't want long magical demon hair? Put that shit on Insta. Hashtag hair goals. And just when I thought things couldn't get any crazier, Mike Tyson pops out of a coffin and starts tossing me guns. And then suddenly, I had guns on my shoes. Motherfucking gun shoes. If I had those in real life, I'd shoot everyone I know right in the face. So I guess in retrospect, it's a good thing I don't own a pair. Diary, things are pretty awesome and looking hella fun. But you know what would make everything even more fun? If I could play the fucking game and not watch a goddamn movie. It's seriously been like an hour already. And when I do get to play, it's a janky ass tutorial that constantly takes me out of the action. Did the game forget I already fought these same angels before? Remember? On the falling clock? I thought that was the tutorial. Then it comes at me with this crap? Sneaky bastards. I finally got to kick some ass in the graveyard, but only for a second because a few minutes later, I'm back to another cutscene. Wowza, this is gonna get old fast if they don't let me start fighting soon. But I did find out a little bit more about Bayonetta's backstory. She apparently woke up in a casket at the bottom of a lake and couldn't remember jack except she was a witch. And something about she has to continue killing angels or she'll get dragged back to hell. Also, she's looking for magical jewels for her memory. Yeah, okay. Glad that's all cleared up then. Then a giant plane crashed into the car, and I used my witchy powers to make time stand still. I then came face to face with a lady in red who I was fighting alongside with on the clock, and all Bayonetta gives me is his cryptic, "You." Who is she? A friend? An enemy? A sister? A cousin? Lesbian lover? Give me something! But the moment passes as we begin to fight off more angels by shoving them into Iron Maidens. Then, after a semi-truck almost turned us both into roadkill, Red Lady left without saying a word. Awesome. I ended up at a trendy bar where apparently there was a definite draft. What's with the constant movement of the clothing? But instead of figuring out if we were in a wind tunnel, Rodin and I discussed the blurred lines between Earth, Paradiso, Inferno, and Purgatorio. Fuck, I guess I should have brushed up on my 14th century poetry before starting this game. Sheesh. Then Rodin gifted me special alloy guns that looked heavy as fuck. And a big dramatic deal was made about it, and I was treated to another non-playable action sequence where Bayonetta threw the guns in the air, completely disregarding any gun safety, while Rodin mixed drinks? Okay, we get it. Bayonetta is really flexible and probably took a gymnastics class in college, but that's not going to save her when she accidentally shoots off her own hand with a shoe gun. Then, just like in real life, I left the bar without paying for my tiny lady drink, and went off to probably star in another cutscene with a convoluted storyline. Hopefully next time I'll get to play for more than 10 minutes. Until then, your friend, Brittany Saturn.